Hello, my name is Mosin Wong. I identify my orientation as bisexual with a preference more towards male.
My name's Taylor Holland.
My name's Tiara.
Orientation-wise, I guess the closest one to me would be pansexual.
I date both men and women.
So my definition of bisexuality would be an attraction between cisgendered males and cisgendered females, whereas pansexual, in my opinion, would be considered an encompassing term where it not only includes cisgendered male and females, but also other people who does not identify with the cisgender, such as transsexuals or transgender individuals or other gender variant people as well.
A whole bunch of you're confused. You just pick one. Oh my god, you're like, that's hella greedy, you're being a slut, like all those awesome things that one gets called.
When I tell people that I'm pansexual, I get a lot of different kinds of responses. There tends to be a lot of confusion. People don't quite know why I identify as pansexual instead of bisexual or anything else, especially since I do have my preference when it comes to gender.
I have gotten confusion from my peers before when I did tell them my sexual orientation, and they seemed a little bit hesitant, like as though they didn't believe me when I said that I was bisexual.
The community I tend to identify most with is the queer community, but that's because I fit into it on many different levels. I'm a trans woman who's more attracted to women than men, though I'm attracted to both. So, as a trans woman, I find lots of commonalities in the queer community, and there just aren't a lot of people in the heterosexual community, the typicals, as I sometimes call them, as they just don't accept trans people as well as the queer community does.
I think that I personally identify more with the straight community just because I'm immersed into that particular community for so long, and currently I'm starting to get to know the queer community, so.
The most part, like the people who I spend my after school hours with are generally straight.
So biphobia is really similar to homophobia in that you get discriminated because of your sexual preferences. But in terms of biphobia, it's not only just from the heterosexual community, but also from the queer community as well.
Some people think as you're transitioning to being just one way, like
I believe that the queer community is more discriminatory towards bisexual men just because as queer men we're supposed to be more masculine and that we're supposed to know what we want, and when a bisexual men come out, they see it as more of a cop-out just because they believe that they could be sitting on both fences and they could switch to being straight, and therefore that because they could become a chameleon as it were, they could just transition between both communities without facing negative aspects. They're from both communities' attitudes that they're not accepting of any bisexual people. They think that sexuality is more black and white, and so they don't believe in fluidity, and those who fall along that spectrum of the gray area, that they just don't believe it's possible, and that's why they're more discriminatory.
There can't simply be gay and straight. There's not only pansexual either. There's a whole spectrum of different orientations that we simply just don't have words for at the moment.
Really fluid people are here, you know? So, yeah.
So I would tell people who think that bisexuality or pansexuality as fake and that they only believe in the black and white spectrum, which is only heterosexuality and uh, homosexuality, that that's simply not true, and that there is they don't have the right to define who I am or what I consider my label to be, and that the bisexuality label is my truth, and that they don't know my life story, and they shouldn't be judging me at all when I don't judge them.
Be with who you want to be.